Welcome back to the Dark Reading News Desk here at RSA 2023. Terry Sweeney here with Dark Reading, and joining us now is Brad Rinklin, Executive Vice President and CMO for Infoblox, along with his colleague Renée Burton, Head of Threat Intelligence. Brad, Renée, thanks for joining us here on the news desk.
Thanks.
Brad, kick us off. Infoblox has recently rebranded in a big, focused way around the union of networking and security. Talk a little bit more about that and why it's important to customers.
First of all, the branding effort that we put in place was really born out of us watching our customers leverage both the networking product that we deliver as well as the security product we deliver, and working together to solve the unified problem of performance and protection. We're in a kind of a unique position as a company to truly unite those two teams, not to make them the same team, not to merge them together, but to have them work together on a common goal without having to work in this diametrically opposed process. And our tool sets, at the very core level of networking, DNS, controls who and what connects to a network. And when you do that from a connectivity standpoint and a networking standpoint, it's fantastic. That's what you're trying to do. You know, from a security standpoint, you can actually leverage that same system to apply policy and prevent malicious activity from connecting to the network. Well, now you've leveraged the same tool set to unite those two teams on that common goal. And so we're really in a very unique position within the security and networking space to truly be able to deliver on the brand promise of uniting networking security.
So let's dig in there a bit. How is it that DNS has somehow become the newest detection and response category for security buyers to consider?
Well, listen, first of all, how it became about is actually our customer. Our customers actually started telling us that they were starting to leverage our tool set within their XDR strategy. We realized, oh my goodness, there really is a great applicability of the DNS technology and the telemetry we get from that plugged into the XDR framework. And so leveraging DNS as a detect and response makes total sense. You think about 90% of the malware, it leverages DNS to be able to create the command control connection or deliver a payload. Why would you wait until it gets to endpoint or gets to the network to try to either find it and remediate it? Why not be able to take in the DNS detect and response telemetry and block it before it ever gets to your infrastructure?
It's a data source everybody with a network has.
That's right. And people that leverage us for our DNS management product obviously brings in a lot more of that data between DNS, DHCP, and the IP address management system. That feeds a great deal into the overall security product, and then the threat intel team, which is literally focused on all the different anomalies that are going on within the DNS protocol for our customers, are looking for those indicators, and that's really what brings together for a really excellent security product for our customers.
Right. Well, every IT professional, every security professional wants to deliver improved performance and, of course, better protection. How does what you're describing contribute to that?
Well, it's interesting. Just in the last 5 or 6 years, when you're thinking about after the pandemic hit or during the time of the pandemic hit, we saw the network professionals having to react to a great deal of new challenges and complexities. Right? We now need all of our users to be able to log in from home over Zoom. We need to be able to put all our workloads into cloud environments and leverage those. We need to connect to suppliers. We need to connect to operational technology and IoT. Just the complexities continue to exacerbate. Yet the companies keep saying we need to go faster. We need to go broader. We need to improve our connectivity. At the same time they're doing that, they're turning it over to the security people and say, hey, but keep it all secure.
Right.
And you think about just the complexity on the networking side, it's almost impossible on the security side. You used to be protect the perimeter. That's all you had to do. There's no perimeter anymore. It's the complexities are huge. And so usually performance of a network and protection of a network are diametrically opposed, right?
That's
Network
well
people
said.
are trying to say, hey, I need to figure out how to make connectivity happen. And security people are like, well, we got to prevent that connectivity from happening. What our tool set does is allow you to not have that trade-off. Is literally focus in on let's make the network as easy to manage in whatever environment you have, and leverage DNS, the most ubiquitous core network function of that distributed network, as your security tool.
So that seems like the networking part of it. Let's turn to the security piece, Renee. Infoblox recently uncovered an important C2 security threat called Decoy Dog. Can you tell us a bit about this DNS threat and how Infoblox came across it?
Yeah, so Decoy Dog is a toolkit which leverages a remote access Trojan, or RAT, called Puppy. Puppy is open source, but it's really hard to use and is well associated with nation states. Decoy Dog is a very specific deployment of Puppy that has a very strong signature within DNS, and they're actually leveraging Puppy to do command and control communications over DNS. So it's got the whole DNS thing going on. The signature itself, which is based on DNS, is extraordinarily rare in the environment. So there's about 18 domains out of 370 million active domains in the internet today. And what we found was that it had a very low number of queries, so it's very hard to detect, particularly to detect that they belong together. And based on our anomaly detectors, we're able to see that not only is this suspicious communication, but it actually belongs together. And as a result, we found, oh wait, this is actually Puppy. Oh wait, this is actually super unique. Oh wait, this is a toolkit.
Is Decoy Dog also a nation state tool?
We honestly don't know. So our job is DNS. That's what we do, right? So I'm a huge proponent of intel in depth, not just defense in depth. So what I believe we should be doing is everyone has their expertise, everyone has their lane in the road. I am an expert in DNS. That's what I do. We are finding things that we know for sure is a command and control system using DNS. And we've made that available to the rest of the industry globally. Say, hey, these things are all together. That we can show you. We can prove all the DNS. Now it's up to the industry people who specialize in network, malware, and attribution to go figure out what it is.
Okay. Why do you think other vendors missed this? What's Infoblox doing that other vendors weren't performing?
Well, it's a lot of the communications are actually happening within the DNS arena, and there's not a lot of attention to DNS intel specifically, right? So other vendors will use malware, for example. They'll find some malware, and they'll do DNS lookups to understand what would have happened in DNS, but they're not actually building their product from DNS. So what we're finding in retrospect of our announcement is that a lot of vendors and different organizations around the world had found portions of Decoy Dog in various pieces over time, but no one was able to figure it out, and they didn't have all of the pieces to be able to say, like, this is really a problem. Therefore, the reason we brought it forward is because our job is to find the DNS. Our job is not to find the malware or to find the attribution, and there's this whole world of experts out there who can take that on.
I see. All right. With that in mind, though, what can organizations do to better protect themselves against this threat?
Well, the most important thing for me, particularly from my bias as a DNS lover, is to protect your DNS. So before we recognized that Decoy Dog was a thing that has 18 out of 370 million domains, we had already flagged a number of those as suspicious. So our customers who were subscribing to our suspicious domains, which is done through a variety of other algorithms, they were already protected. And as another great example that came out in the last week, Mandiant made this beautiful report on a double supply chain. See 3CX, people can find it. In our case, we had protected all of our customers from what Mandiant discussed months ago when it was actually beginning to be active. So our customers were entirely protected. And what's cool about the industry is now you get the next part finding some attack, and then you get Mandiant doing this great work to see, wait a second, this is actually a double supply chain. That's intelligence in depth.
Is the DNS approach sounds like a bit like the canary in the coal mine?
Yeah, absolutely. It's your frontline defender. It's where you can detect and respond as early as possible before the compromise happens.
Well, let's close out then with your thoughts around what the security community at large can hope for or expect from using DNS threat intel.
So if we are using DNS threat intel, we're able to block those things before they come through. About 92% of all threats come through DNS, right? So some aspect of that. And then that actually helps all of our teams downstream. So of course, you're never going to be perfect. Of course, there's going to be incidents that come through. But now your SOC team is not focused on every single phishing email, spear phishing email that came through. They're focused on the things that couldn't get, that made their way through those left side barriers or shift left barriers.
Brad and Renee, great insights around the union of networking and security and a new approach to keeping networks and data safer. Thanks for joining us today on the Dark Reading News Desk.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We've been talking with Brad Rinklin and Renee Burton of Infoblox. This has been Terry Sweeney for the Dark Reading News Desk. Thanks for joining us for this segment. We'll see you next time.